Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta. Hi, everyone. Over here,
Hi.
I'm in Hawaii today. So
I am too.
coming to you all the way from Hawaii, but we're not together because we're on different islands. That's why we're not together. But
That's right.
but we're still coming to you from Hawaii. And we're so happy to have you join us for another one of our chats, Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. And I'm going to jump into my tea. What am I drinking? I'm actually drinking green tea today, and it's loose leaf green tea. I don't have the package because I think we emptied the package into another container, so it doesn't really show anything. But I have my steeper, which is right here. Can you see? No, sorry.
No. There we go. Got it.
There, and then I'm going to put my cup underneath it, and it's going to steep it.
Look
You
at
can't
the
even
water
see it.
just disappear.
Well, you can't see it. I'm trying to show you. See it? Well, you got to see a little bit of that, right? So
Right.
that's the water, and it disappeared. And I'm going to say cheers to you with my green tea. And
Cheers.
cheers, everyone, with my green tea. And what are you drinking, Gloria?
I'm keeping it sweet and simple. Let's see if I can, hold on. It's challenging. Oh, there we go. Up a little bit more. Oh, okay. If I get my face out of the way.
It's okay.
This is a tea sampler that I found.
Oh,
and
nice. Yes.
Yes, and it has lemon, of course. However, it also has, why won't you show? If I didn't want you to show you, there we go. It also has peppermint. And the ingredient is peppermint. I love that.
Surprise.
Surprise. So I love that. So cheers to you.
Cheers, everyone.
Dear, as you remind everybody how to connect to us.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm just all about the teas, and I forgot about that. You're right. Connect with us. Connect. We'd love for you, if you like our videos, to hit that thumb icon below this video. Subscribe to our channel. We'd love the support. And if you don't want to miss any of our videos, hit that bell notification. The bell. Bling, bling, bling. I'm not sure why I'm doing that sound of the bell when it's right here.
Because you like to chime in with me and make it go ding-a-ling-a-ling together.
So we'd love that, everyone. And we're so excited for our week of entertainment with you guys. Yes. We're excited.
Yes. So as always, we like to kick our videos off talking about our girl, Ellen. Ellen, we love you. And Ellen always reminds us to listen to one another, and to be kind to one another. And during these unusual times in the world, we hope you're taking her up and you're doing that. So last week, we shared with you that Ellen had done a sort of like a brief release that she was going to be shutting down her show. And since that time, she actually took one of her segments of her show, and season 19 is going to be her last season. She had Oprah Winfrey on Zoom with her because, Oprah went through the whole process of shutting down the Oprah Winfrey show. And, and so they talked about the challenges, what that felt like, and why, when you know. And Oprah shared that at one point she was, they did a lot of makeup shows, which I love. And she was like, I just couldn't think of how we could do another mascara show. I just couldn't figure it out. And she was like, okay, I'm done. And as we know, Oprah has gone on to do many more things. And that was basically what she was telling Ellen. There is more life after this. Ellen also had her friend Pink. And Pink talked about her up and coming mini series. This talks about behind the scenes of her tour, being a mom of 3 small kids, what that's like. And, Pink told Ellen, of course, I'm going to miss you a lot because I love you. And she goes, what am I going to do every day at 4 o'clock? So she got a lot of, love and support. And our girl, Wendy Williams, how you doing?
How you doing?
She also piped in, and she, because Rosetta and I, we've been telling you all for weeks, Ellen didn't sound the same, that exuberance wasn't there. And Wendy said that she thought some of it had to do with the negative environment.
Yes.
And that's really why Ellen was shutting down the show, because she was like, 19, why don't you go to 20? And even Oprah said to her, why don't you go to 20? And the reason that Ellen decided to stop at 19, 1 is the beginning and 9 is the end before you start cycling over. So that's why she decided to do 19. And even though Wendy, kind of threw a little shade at her, not bad shade, she just said that, Wendy's only done 12 years. And she's like, I hope and I pray we make it to 19. So everyone understands why it's so challenging, especially now with Zoom and everyone doing it remote. And so Ella's big goal is to knock out that season 19 in person with an audience. Pink said she would come, and Oprah also said that she would come to be with her. So
I love Oprah.
Yes, season 19 is going to be fabulous, everyone.
It's going to be fabulous. And you're right, Gloria. We've been telling you, everyone that's been following us, that we noticed something different about Ellen, and the fact that she is hardly ever there. She always has subs to host for her. So that something is not right. And we talked about that, and we were wondering. And we did say, maybe this is a way to show that she's phasing out and she's not going to do it anymore, right? And lo and behold, the next thing you know, announcement, season 19 is the last. So
that's right.
I think it's good. I think it's good. She's had a run, 17. So this is her 18th season. And for 17 years, she's been doing it every single day. She's had here and there some hosts, but she's had spectacular 18 years, 17 years. And 19th is going to be a good one. So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. So we'll keep you informed as we hear more information. And if you have anything, please comment below. What do you think about 19? Is 19 a good ending number? We'd love to hear your opinion.
Yep.
So how is our Prince and Duchess doing in the States?
Oh, I'd love to throw in some Princess Meghan and Prince Harry, right? Got to have, whenever there's something happening with them. Well, as you know, this whole devastation with India and COVID, it's really horrific to see the trauma that they're going through, the number of losses they've had with COVID, not able to get the vaccines. And you know that Harry and Meghan have their production company foundation, Archewell Foundation. Well, they're partnering up with a company called World Central Kitchen, and they're going to build their next community relief center in Mumbai, India.
Wow.
So you're probably all wondering, well, what's that got to do with COVID? Teaming up with World Central Kitchen. What does that got to do with COVID and people are suffering there? Well, they're providing relief and resilience for the communities. And during any future crises, these centers can quickly turn into emergency response centers and vaccine locations.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
Yes. That's awesome. And they partnered up with this company, the World Central Kitchen, is because they've been serving, and I put this down, the numbers, 20,000 fresh meals daily to frontline hospital workers and to COVID quarantine centers in India.
Wow.
So that's probably
amazing.
It is amazing. That's probably what was on their radar, right? Meghan and Harry's radar. Well, this company has already been there and done it and offered these meals. Why not, join forces and combine with them? And they said that India's total virus cases have exceeded 25 million as of Tuesday.
Oh,
crazy. 25 million. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. So thank you, Prince Harry and Princess Meghan, for doing this. And we appreciate all that you do. And you're not forgetting about India. I'm just wondering what other celebrities that have the financial capabilities or power to do something, what are they doing for the people in India? Because we're here watching this and we're all devastated. I just want to know what can be done.
Right, right. I mean, I have friends who, back in the day, they would tell me about, the people, and like when you're out in the streets, how there's just so many people, and it's very hard to, social distance when there isn't 6 feet of space to be had. So I'm sure that's also increasing the ravaging of this virus throughout the land. And we always will keep you in our thoughts and prayers. And, Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan, thank you so much for everything that you're doing to support these people. And anyone out there who, you've got a few $billion laying around and you would like to do something to help the community, this is a great opportunity to help, because it's just, I mean, we went through it. We know what it's like every day to wake up and see those numbers ticking up. Their numbers, their counts are so much bigger than ours were. And the rapidness is so much faster than ours. I just can't imagine.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking, if you're out there and you do have the money and you can't think of, well, what can I do as one individual, maybe consider like donating to Archewell Foundation. That might be a good way to start, right? Donate.
Exactly.
And you know that you're helping to going towards this cause. Maybe you can't start something yourself, or you don't have the capability of means of starting something yourself in India or traveling to India, but you can actually, contribute to that Archewell Foundation. I'm sure they would love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, everyone, if you have family and friends, please make sure you reach out to them, because the one thing that I learned during COVID was the isolation. So if you don't have money, hopefully you have time. Just pick up the phone and call someone, pick up your phone and text someone. Just let them know that they're in your thoughts and prayers, that they are in our thoughts and prayers.
Yep.
So Sunday, we have another, I'm sorry.
No, I just said yes. And I was going to say very good reminders to connect with people over the phone, text with them, or even pick up the phone and call them.
Yes. Yes. I know millennials and younger don't like to talk. It has been amazing to me. I'll see someone and they'll say, oh, I'll give you a call. And I say, yeah, just give me a call. And they said, well, let me clarify. When I say call, I mean text, because we're millennials. We don't call. I'm like, okay, text.
Okay.
So whatever method that you use to stay connected, please use it to help the people of India.
Yep.
So Sunday is the Billboard Award show. Since the Oscars and the, what was the other one? We had the Oscars, and then we had another, the Grammys were in person with isolation and masks. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, because I think New York is getting ready to reduce the restrictions of masks and maybe taking it from 6 feet apart to 3 feet apart. So next week, we will give you an update on what we saw. We will be able to tell you who wore what really well, and who wore something and you thought to yourself, maybe she covered up her mirrors in her house, or maybe you just wanted a sweatsuit that looked like a tux, but we still know it's a sweatsuit. So we'll give you an update on the Billboard Awards next week.
And we'll tell you what we thought and our reviews. And I do remember this time last year when they had the Billboard Awards, that was the very first award show, I believe, right?
Right.
And we thought they did a pretty good job. So I'm excited to see what happens this year. And just to say, sorry about all this technology. I know that we keep freezing. If you're seeing us freezing, don't worry. It's just technology. We're still here. We're going to keep going. Show must go on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every time you freeze, I'm like, okay, I count to 5 before I say anything in case I'm frozen and you're not. So hopefully when we come back together, we're not talking over each other. And if we do, we love each other, it'll be okay.
Yes. Yeah. So excuse the technology, things happen.
Yes. So a lot of people have been posting love and support to Vanessa Bryant. And you were saying, Rosetta, that you just saw a post.
Yes, yes, yes. Michelle Obama. She's actually on her Instagram account. If you're following her, because I'm one to follow her, she's sending love to Vanessa Bryant. And I'm going to have to quickly find it because I want to share what she said, because I did find it and it's pretty nice. She said, was just a picture of her, and it says, as a wife and mother, I have thought a lot what Vanessa Bryant has been going through this past year. I was touched hearing her speak with such courage and strength this past weekend at the Basketball Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So yeah, that was this past weekend, right? Honoring
Right.
Kobe. And
Right.
I'm proud to join so many others in building upon Gianna's legacy by supporting the Mamba and Mamba Cheta Sports Foundation. And then she says, at Vanessa Bryant, she puts the @ sign, all my love to you and the girls and the next generation of athletes you are working to empower. And then she puts hashtag play gig GO, hashtag play Gigi's way.
Oh,
That was pretty nice.
oh, that's
very
very
nice.
special. If I was Vanessa, I would take a picture of that post and I would frame it, because that is so sweet and so beautiful.
That is coming from Michelle Obama, means so much. She's all about girl power, the younger generations, and how to empower them. She does that with her kids. And she's actually raised 2 amazing, beautiful daughters.
Yes.
So for her to come out and just remember Kobe Bryant, because what happens, I feel a lot of times, is that we forget about people that have passed on. And it's been over a year, right? So it's really nice that one thing I wanted to talk about was, and I don't know about you, Gloria, but why did it have to be after Kobe passed away that they gave him that induction to the Hall of Fame? Why can't they do it when he's alive and he can feel the energy and appreciate it? Why does it have to be until he passes away? That doesn't make sense.
Right. You know, that's why I like my mom. She always says, don't be buying no roses for me when I'm dead. Give me my roses now where I can smell them. And so, you know, like for Mother's Day, I got her our gardenia plant, and I planted it, made sure it was watered, and the flowers are beautiful. The bouquet is just, it smells amazing. I agree with you. Sometimes, you know, people are moving so fast. One of the things that COVID did is it got us all to slow down. Not so much we wanted to, however, we had to. So now I know there's some parents who are thinking to themselves, you know, I like this. I like not having to, you know, get off of work and go pick my kid up from school, take my kid from, you know, school to, you know, soccer practice, pick them up from soccer practice, take them to piano lesson, take them from piano lesson to ballet, all in one day. You know, they don't want to get back into that habit. And so, you know, when you see something, just acknowledge it. Like Rosetta's saying, don't wait for tomorrow. We do not know if tomorrow will ever come.
Right.
There is no way that Kobe would have put his baby and his friends and her friends on that helicopter if he had any idea that that would be the last time that they would be together with us all. So she's right. You know, he was a fabulous basketball player. You know, it's like football players. I mean, some people wait 20 years to be put into the NFL Hall of Fame. And it's like, why 20 years? What takes so long? That's a
what
very
is it
good
that
question.
what is it when they, after they retire, between that gap, that missing gap, what is it they've done that automatically someone says, let's put them in the Hall of Fame? Because Kobe Bryant was spectacular when he was alive.
Yes.
He didn't change. He's still the same person till the day he died. Why couldn't they have done it earlier? Why now that he's passed away are they doing this? Is it because they have to wait for a certain, until he turns a certain, I don't know what the deal is. If any of you
it's
know,
not an age.
comment.
Yeah. it's not an age thing, because I know, and sometimes they'll put someone up for nomination and they won't make it, and then they'll put them back up. I mean, we need, you and I are going to do some investigating, because that is a brilliant question. Why does it take so long?
Right. And if you know, comment below, because we'd love to know, why can't they induct him into the Hall of Fame while he is alive? Is it because
Yeah.
he wasn't playing anymore?
Right. He was already retired.
Yes, he was already retired. So why can't they just induct him? What are they waiting? What is it that they have to pull the trigger to say, yes, we're going to induct that person? So
Exactly.
we'll have to investigate, and we'll let you know.
Yes, we'll let you know what we find out too. Well, most of you know that one of my favorite shows is coming to a close, and that is called Pose, featuring the fabulous Billy Porter. I love him, and one of the things he does in the show is he always says, and the category is, and it's the way in which he delivers those words. So when I'll be with family and friends, and they'll be, asking me, well, what are we going to have for the next meal? And I would always go, oh, and the category is sandwiches or soup. And we would just make a joke out of it. And I just love him. And Rosetta had some information that Billy shared with the world.
Yes. So Billy Porter, this is a complete surprise, that he has been hiding a secret, and that is that he is HIV positive, and he was diagnosed 14 years ago. So he's been holding this in for 14 years. In 2007, he was diagnosed with HIV and type 2 diabetes, and he also filed for bankruptcy. So that's a little something secret that he didn't want. He was actually shamed. The shame of it silenced him. And he was afraid of what might be, what might happen to his career, which is why he didn't say anything. And he never told his mother either, because of the repercussions that she had from her church community. She felt that it wasn't right. And when she did, because he really wanted to wait until she had passed to actually announce this. But because she was still alive and still living, he said, I'm just going to announce it. And her response, I have to read you what she said. When he told her, she said, "You've been carrying this around for 14 years. Don't ever do this again. I'm your mother. I love you no matter what. And I know I didn't understand how to do that years ago, but it's been decades now." And as for the critics, Porter says that you're simply with me or get out the way. That's what he said. You're with me or get out the way. So oh my, I can't imagine holding something like that for 14 years. I mean, I can understand from the public, but from your own mother to be holding it for 14 years, knowing that if he told her, what backlash she would have from her church community, because they already gave her some kind of, unwelcoming, whatever they did with his, with his queerness. That's why they call it queerness.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So that's, what do you think? I mean, that's devastating for 14 years.
Absolutely. And, one of the things that I love about him, and I think COVID is what caused him to talk about this. As I've shared with you many times, one of the reasons that the vaccine is not more readily accepted from the Black community is because Black people don't trust doctors. Doctors do not always, give the love and care to a Black person that they would to someone else. And for Billy, I mean, okay, so the fact that he's HIV, that's bad enough, okay? And, if you've ever been around someone who goes through the stages of HIV to AIDS, it is, oh my God, it's devastating. You watch that beautifulness just drain out of the person. So for Billy to look as good as he does, I'm so happy he came out and said it, because now people realize You don't just get the diagnosis, you got HIV, you get AIDS tomorrow and you die. He is living a good, productive life. And then to have type 2 diabetes on top of that. Now, the one thing that he did say is, as a 51-year-old man, he goes, Black people don't like doctors. However, I go to the doctors every 3 months. And, number one, he has to get all of his numbers checked.
Yes.
As a diabetic individual, it's they do a quarterly review of your blood sugars. And so
Yes.
he gets his A1C so that he knows what's going on. And I mean, I just think he is one of the most fabulous individuals on planet Earth. And I'm very happy that he did come out and say something. And the Black community is not very loving sometimes when it comes to, an individual, being in their own authentic truth. And I'm hoping that through time, people will realize that everybody is trying to do the best they can with what they've got. And Billy, I love him. And I think that, I don't know, ABC is owned by Disney. So Disney, people, hear me. Pose is an amazing, amazing show. And even though it is just to go up to the height of the AIDS pandemic when it was really, really bad, it would be a blessing if you could figure out how to keep that level of information flowing out into the world so that everyone understands what the people go through just to be themselves, the challenges that they have. So Billy, thank you for being your authentic self. I am really enjoying the last season of Pose. I cry every segment because I'm like, please don't stop yet. Please don't stop, because I love it so much. It's so informative. I love it.
Oh, he's not going to stop doing it. He's Billy Porter. That's what got him into the limelight. He's been fantastic.
Exactly.
And even though I don't watch Pose, I know what it's about. And I've seen ever since he's been getting all these like awards for that show, and he's being more and more recognized. And I love that. And as you can see, his diabetes and his HIV have not gotten in the way of any of that. And
exactly.
He's doing what he needs to do. And as he says to the critics, you're simply with me or get out the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, sort of like along the same lines, I have been noticing how some of the shows this season are trying to highlight doctor care. So I'm the kind of person, if my doctor, and I have a great doctor, she'll say, we need to look at these numbers. They're not bad. However, left unattended to, they can become bad and they can affect your life. And so I will ask her, okay, how long are you going to give me to get this number in line? And I will then go from my medical doctor to what I call a holistic doctor, like a chiropractor, an acupuncturist. And I ask them, what herbs would you recommend? What can I use that will help facilitate better care? Now, on the show, The Good Doctor, they are showing how a woman goes to the doctor, and not just a doctor, a specialist. And the specialist says to her, these are just typical conditions of aging, just go home. Everything's going to be okay. So the primary character of the Good Doctor is autistic. So he goes to see the specialist because his girlfriend is pregnant with a baby, and he wants to do everything he can to support his girlfriend and his baby. So he's talking to him, and he walks in, and his name is Sean. Sean has no filters. He says to the doctor, "You're a terrible doctor. You told her to just go home and everything was going to be okay. You didn't run any tests. You didn't verify the information. You just sent her away." He goes, "You're a terrible doctor. You could never, work with my girlfriend or my child." So as Sean turns and walks away, there's a lady sitting in the waiting room. And she just kind of gets up and walks out too.
She just leaves.
And yeah, because she's like, wait a minute. And that already put me in an aha moment. And then on Monday night on 911, it's all about the fire department in Los Angeles. And I love it because I get to see parts of LA that I recognize. And the what is she? I guess she's a paramedic fireman because she's a fire person and she's a paramedic.
Yes, yes.
And so her mom is walking out of her house and she's like, "Ooh." And so she's like, "Okay, mom." So she takes her mom to the doctor and they basically, once again, oh, maybe she's just a little overweight. She's tired, just take her home. So they take her home, but her mom's not her normal self. So the paramedic is in the process of becoming a doctor. So she put some of her friends who are also students together, and they start going through the mom's symptoms. And they create Post-its, a wall of Post-its. And at a certain point, she realizes that her mom is having blood flow issues, which is related specifically to her heart. So she turns around, she takes her back to the hospital. Now, this time she knows, don't go back to the front desk because they're going to tell her to take some aspirins and go home. So they distract the front desk, they weave her around, and then she starts speaking the language that they understand. And she says the word stat, which means now, immediate, emergency. So you have to have an advocate when you go to the doctor now, and you almost have to kind of like pre-diagnose yourself, or at least look up what causes this condition, because sometimes the medical industry is so busy on pushing pills that they don't stop to ask you real legitimate questions. So I love The Good Doctor and I love 911 because they're giving all of us an opportunity to think about, I never thought about that.
Yeah, and it's bringing light because it's not just in one show, it's in 2 shows that they're bringing light to this. So hopefully people seeing these shows, because it's just we watch both shows, me and Glory watch 911 and The Good Doctor, and we see it highlighted there. But for those of you that don't, we're telling you that more and more shows are starting to highlight that. And you're right,
Yes.
it's important. Doctors are not, they're too busy. So the thing
Right.
is, they don't have the time. And what annoys, I'm sorry to say this, but what annoys me a lot of times with doctors is that they'll say, "Oh, this is wrong with you, you got to do this." But they don't tell you how to do it. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Like one of the things was, "Oh, your mom in 911, oh, she's just this and this, and she's a bit overweight. Maybe she should lose some weight." Okay, but how do you do all this? I mean, you're writing her prescription to do all these things, but you're not advising her how to do it. So basically, you're just like leaving her to do nothing, basically, because she's going to be overwhelmed when she gets home. And 2, you're not resolving the underlying causes of the issue.
Right.
So we need to know what to ask when we go to the doctors, just like the mother, because she's elderly. I think everybody needs to know what to ask when you go to the doctor's office, because a lot of people don't know, right? And they just listen to the doctors because they're doctors. They have that name, doctor. So they think, okay, listen to the doctor. That's what they said. I'm going to listen to them, not going to question them. So hopefully you got your eye opened, and when you go to the doctors, you're not just going there blindly. Listen to your body and listen to what your mind and your gut is telling you. If things are not right, question it.
Yes, absolutely. And in the up and coming weeks, because I don't know, I have to find this show. I was watching a program yesterday, and they started talking about the opioid pandemic. And they used that word pandemic. And I was like, really? And the person said that in the United States of America, between like 2011 and 2016, over 100 billion, with a B, pills have been prescribed and given out to people. So we're going to do a little bit of background on that because that's pretty scary. And I know as a person that has had surgery, they send you home with, what's that, oxycodone now.
Yeah,
I
pain
mean,
medication.
if you go to the dentist and you have a procedure, they'll give you oxycodone. Yes. And I'm like, why are you doing this? So we're going to, continue to look into this and talk about it because we want you all to be informed. And if you have any insight about, prescription medications versus natural, holistic alternatives, please put it in down below so that our community can see and we can share.
Yeah, that's really important because we don't know much about all that. So if you know, please share. We'd love to hear. Yeah.
Yes. So last night on The Voice, we're down to the top 5. So Kelly, of course, Kenzie Wheeler, of course, that's who they think is going to win. So he moved forward on her team. Cam Anthony on Blake's team. What's the next person? What's the name? Oh, Rachel Mack on John's team. No, Rachel Mack is on Nick's team, and Victor Solomon is on John's team. And then the people had an opportunity to vote, and they put Jordan Matthew Young through. So we're down to the final 5. So everyone should just keep an eye out on that, and we will let you all know as we find out how they're doing. They sent home some really good people. It all has to do with who's voting and what style of music that they like. I think all of the people that went home last night are going to be amazing musicians.
And who are your favorites? If you're watching, we'd love to know. Who do you like? Who are you rooting for? If someone you're rooting for got booted out, let us know. I mean, not much we can do there, but we'd like to know.
Absolutely.
Comment below and let us know who your favorites are and who you're rooting for.
Absolutely. So there is a situation, and I think it's not done yet. We're just highlighting it because it's something that's going around the world right now. We both love Chrissy Teigen. We think that she is such a sweet person. And I have to admit, back in the day when she was, doing her modeling and all of that, I didn't know that much about her. I know Chrissy since she started dating, marrying John Legend, etc. Apparently, back in 2011, she wasn't the most conscious person. That's how she feels about herself. And there was a young person, Courtney Stodden. And Courtney is a gender neutral individual. And apparently, I think Courtney was 16 and her husband was 56 at the time. And Chrissy, for whatever reason, didn't like it. And so she had posted on her Twitter account and then also in the DM, the personal messaging, that she wanted Courtney to harm herself or to just go away kind of thing. Chrissy, of course, has come out and apologized for her words and her behavior. And she said that when she was younger, she was just a very, confused individual, and she did harmful and hurtful things. She acknowledged that she's working on herself, and she said through the grace of God, she's trying to do and be the best that she can do and be. This whole situation has affected Chrissy's product line. Bloomingdale's, Target, and Macy's have dropped her cookware line, just dropped it. And my thing is, I believe we're human beings and we all make mistakes and we're all capable of making a mistake. I hope that Chrissy is going to continue to show up as the person she is today. She officially sent an apology to Courtney. And all you can do is say, I'm sorry, and then show up and show the world that I am not that person anymore. And that's what I hope for her.
She will move on and she will keep doing what she's doing. But I think that the big companies, retail stores, were right in dropping her because they have their image to keep. And they don't want people to think that they're keeping her and siding with someone that said these nasty things, even though it was in her past. They are a business and they need to maintain their image. So being associated with someone, even though that's not who she is, that said these things, could really hurt their business. So that's probably why they dropped her. And, you know, Chrissy, she is a fantastic woman. And you're just like you. I'd not heard of her until John came out with the song that he wrote for her. And everyone was saying, wow, who is this woman that you're writing for? But
Right.
that's when we knew of her. And I have not, I think that she's a changed woman, but I do understand the big box stores, you know,
Yeah.
not continuing with her line. That's their right, and that's, they need to maintain an image. But Chrissy, you know who
Yeah.
you are, and you're doing a
Yes.
great job right now. That was in your past, and thank you for owning up to it and apologizing.
Absolutely. And, you know, I always look at things from, you know, the girl perspective and the guy perspective. So let's talk a little bit about Bill and his wife, Melinda Gates, who are in the process of getting a divorce. Now, initially, their relationship was one where she would allow him to go off a week once a year to be with this other woman that was in his life. I don't know if I could do that. I mean, if you want her that bad that you have to spend a week out with her somewhere in public, so my friends, my peeps see you, I don't know about that. And in addition, we've all known that the Gates have, I think it's been quite a few years before or either before or right when he stepped down from Microsoft, running the daily operations, not what he just recently did, stepping down from the board. He had said that they were going to donate all of the money other than what they needed to live on to their charities. There's also something I found out, that their children each will get $10 million. That was it, supposed to be capped. Now I'm thinking, okay, I am Melinda, and I think to myself, wait a minute. What if he goes and he marries this woman now that we're getting a divorce and they have children? Is he then going to take the fortune that we have amassed? Because even though they're going to get a divorce, they're going to keep their charities and all of those things going forward. Are you going to give these new children more money than you're going to give my child? So I understand that there's conversations about, you know, the final, you know, divorce decree, because she now wants to make sure her children are going to be treated fairly. And even though all of this is coming out and he is somehow affiliated and associated with Epstein and that whole debacle, you know, I have heard more about Chrissy and what she said versus Bill and what he's doing. So is there a double-edged sword here?
Well, you've heard a little bit about what Bill Gates is doing, and they're just stating the facts with that, with Bill Gates, right? But with Chrissy, I think they're really digging deep into it, and I'm not sure why. There's a different standards, I would say. So, not really sure.
You know, sort of like the same line, there's this whole new Bennifer, you know, Ben Affleck, J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez. Last week we shared with you that they were seen together in Montana in a car.
Yeah.
So now it's gone from that to they're back together and they're dating. Now, the reason that they initially broke up had to do with they didn't want to be all out in public. They just wanted to be left alone. Well, they are both bigger now than they were back then. So that didn't really accomplish anything. And I also think it's really interesting. I can't tell you how many people, Rosetta, have said to me, boy, she's moving fast. And yet if it's a guy, they don't say he's moving fast. He's just moving on. So once again, double-edged sword. It makes you stop and think. Why is it always okay for a guy to do bad things in public? And yet a woman, if she makes a mistake in public or does something bad, she is just taken out.
She's reamed for doing that.
Absolutely. And her degree of whatever she did can be less than what the guy did.
Right.
It's like, oh,
Because back in the days when Bennifer was around, after they split up, didn't he go straight to Jennifer Garner?
I think he did.
Yes, he did. He went straight to Jennifer, and nothing was said of it, nothing
No.
out of the ordinary. But now that J-Lo is no longer with A-Rod and she's been seen with Affleck guy, it's like, wow, people are saying that she's moving too fast. What's up
Yeah.
with her? Are they dating? Are they not dating? Why is she getting back with him? We don't know all this. We can just speculate. Nobody knows the reason
Yeah.
why. And initially I did speculate, but I don't, right now I'm like, what it is what it is. And it will sooner or later come out in the tabloids.
Exactly. And if we ever hear any more, we will let you know. And, it's that old live and let live. And, try and do the best you can. That's all we can do. And I'm sure that is all they're trying to do in their lives right now. So good luck to everyone. So the CDC has confused the heck out of all of us. And I'm very kind to use the word heck. They came out with a new classification that said you don't really have to wear a mask if you're around people that are fully vaccinated. You don't have to wear a mask indoor or outdoor. Now, I must admit that there are people that I've been talking to for months saying, asking the question, did you get your shot? Did you get your shot? Nothing. No, I'm waiting. Now that there's a possibility of getting rid of the mask, people are getting their shots. I drove by Levi Stadium over the weekend and the parking lot looked like it was a 49er game. It was full. And the only thing they're doing there right now is vaccinations, as far as I know. So I think that is now incenting people. For me, CDC, I would have much preferred if you had CDC, you have got to come up with a way so that people know who is really vaccinated and who bought a vaccination card off of eBay. I don't think we, the citizens, should have to worry about, that whole situation. Now, we live in California, so we have a mandate that masks are required indoors and outdoors until June 15th. That's our target date. As long as our numbers are where they are now or less, we are going to be fine. Now, Texas, their numbers are not low. However, their governor came out and said the mandate for mask is no longer. You don't have to wear a mask. I have people who live in Texas and they have health issues. And they're like, how do I know that the person next to me doesn't have COVID? I just had, I have breast cancer, so I just had surgery. So I am a compromised immune system walking. How are they going to know? That is where I think the CDC has got to do something better than just saying you can go outside now. You can be together in pods. So I want to see something. And when they had a chance to do it, I think they messed up by doing those little paper cards. Anybody can get one of those cards. Anybody can fake one of those cards.
They're
not hard to do.
Like we talked about last week. Gloria said that when she went to get the COVID shot for her mom, they just gave her the card and they didn't fill it out. And they said, you can fill it out. So who's to say that you can't just get one of those cards and have someone else fill it out? Right? So they made a mistake on many of it. And it's the COVID card that you get when you get the vaccine is a government officially issued document. Right. And they're talking about all this passports and things. But the thing is, we're not going to be carrying it around with us because it doesn't fit in our wallets. It's too big and it's going to get torn. It's paper. It's just like our social security cards, right? You can't laminate them because it says on the back, do not laminate. Right. So if they wanted to make sure that there's going to be no forgeries or people buying it on the black market, they need to do something like put a strip in there, like we mentioned, I think last week, put a strip in there like the $100 bills or put some kind of holographic thing on the cards. I don't know. I guess they weren't thinking far ahead. They just wanted the cards just so they can get the vaccines out. And now, because there's going to be a lot of things going forward after June the 15th, that are going to require, even now, Chase Center, Levi State, they're asking you, in order to attend this event, you have to be vaccinated or have a negative COVID test.
Right.
So people who don't want to get the vaccine are finding ways to do it, right?
Right.
So I don't know. I'm just really, really hoping that the CDC comes up with something that is unified and everyone can agree on it, because this is a scary thing. Like you said, people that have, underlying health conditions, or like you said, someone's had surgery.
Right.
And nobody knows where other people have been, right?
No, right. And the one thing that there are times when, I go into mommy mode and I hear people say things and I just think to myself, how incredibly unconscious of you to say what you said. So, I watch The View because I love to watch the ladies fight. And sometimes it's fun. And then sometimes I'm just like, oh my God. So Whoopi was trying to have a conversation about, the vaccines and all of this. And what did you think? And how are the new mask mandates going to change your life? And so she goes around, she lets each person share their thoughts and their opinions. And, Meghan McCain, she had said something to the effect of, I'm back to living my life large. I am not going to, be confined, and I'm not going to do this. And, I'm like, you're a mommy. Don't you realize there's no vaccination for your baby? And she's going to learn. It's just going to take her some time as her child starts to grow. If her child gets sick, she gets sick. When she gets sick, her child gets sick. You just rotate that crap around, mommy to baby, for years. She hasn't learned yet. So Sarah says, her husband's name is Max. She goes, Max and I don't want to do anything that will compromise our children because they're too young. I think it's 5, 3, and 1. They're too young for the vaccines right now. So we're going to continue to wear our masks, etc. So they were trying to, kind of hip people to the fact that you have to be careful. Joy said she went to the grocery store and some lady yelled at her, hey, Joy, put your mask on. So even people are policing people. And that's my concern with the CDC, is because people are going to start feeling that they can tell you what you can and cannot do. And that's when I think we're going to have a real situation, because I'm going to wear my mask. That's my right. And I'm not going near you, and you don't come tell me what you want me to do, because I have compromised people that I have to protect.
So and there's going to be some people.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Just like remember the Karens? There's going to be people like the Karens still wanting to say something.
Yes. Yes. So, Rosetta and I, we're going to just try and keep an eye out and see, anything we learn, we will share. And to all of you, please be safe. I have friends who are now telling people, you can't come to my house unless you can prove you've got the vaccine, because they don't want to wear masks, and yet they don't want to put people who live in their houses at risk. So we will keep you up to date. Yeah. We will let you know what we find out. And we just hope everyone is going to be safe. And remember, the mask is not just to protect the individual, it's to protect you too. It's a two-way. It protects you from possibly giving anything to anyone, and it protects you from possibly getting anything from anyone. So be safe.
That's all we can say. Be safe. Be safe.
Yes. So just before we close, early to mid-January, when Ellen brought her show back in person in the studio, she took some time to go and meet a young lady named Julia, and Julia's last name is Lippman. And Julia had a terminal condition. And so Ellen and Andy flew to spend some time with her. Ellen had her cell phone. And so, she goes, oh, I hear you like Demi Lovato. And so she called Demi so Demi could talk to her. And there was another person that she called, I can't remember her name. She had a baby this in 2020. She's got blonde hair. I love her. She's a girly girl, but I can't think of her name. I think her first name is Meghan, but I can't think of her last name. And so Ellen and Andy hung out with her. Well, over the weekend, Julia passed away, and we just wanted to send our thoughts and prayers to her family, because she was such a little sweetheart. To have a condition that, it's just a time game. And she was always upright. Andy made a joke to her about, we were going to have you come and see us, but, we didn't know how she was in one of those little motorized wheelchairs. Yeah. He goes, I don't know. We didn't know how fast that would go. And she goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I can do 8 miles per hour in this thing. So that was kind of like her spirit. So we know that, there's no more discomfort, and family, we're sorry for your loss. And yet we know how grateful you all are to have had her in your life.
Yeah, I remember that show, and she was a lovely young girl. She really was. She had such, like, the aura around her was light around her. Yeah, it was amazing. And I remember the lady, Meghan Trainor.
There you go. See, I told you, I remember Meghan.
Meghan Trainor. I didn't remember Meghan when you said it. Meghan Trainor.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, she will be remembered, because I do remember her, and she was really a light. She really was. And it's just so sad, very, very sad, devastating. It really is. So Absolutely. We want to wish the family, our condolences, and thank you, Ellen, for shedding light on this wonderful human being. And she graced our earth for a reason. There was a reason for her to grace our earth. Yes. She came to do what she needed to do.
Yes. And I think that's where we are all feeling a little sad about Ellen going away, because it's things like this that Ellen does that no one else does. How we can see and feel her heart. She's always doing things to help people. So Ellen always, always reminds us that she feels the love in the room. She sends it back out to everyone. She wants everyone to go out and share that love with the world. And Julia shared her love with the world. And even though she's not physically here, we can still spiritually feel that love.
Yeah, thank you. That was a really, really great ending to our chat, because she was a light. She really was. I'm going to try and find the videos of her, because I want to post it below. And if I find it later on, I'll still post it in the description. But she was really, I really want to try and find maybe on YouTube that episode that she was on, because lovely, lovely girl. If you don't know who we're talking about, we'll have to find it. But yeah, thank you everyone so much for tuning in for another episode of our chat, Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. We love our teas. And just to want to remind you that
that's right. I was like, they can't see these cups.
We want to remind you, ask you, do you sell teas? Do you make teas? Are you in the Bay Area, have a tea shop? We would love to review your teas on one of our upcoming chats. And we will be chit-chatting in a future episode with a young lady that actually has a business, and she does all about teas, and it's called Sipology. And I've purchased a couple of her teas, and we're going to be highlighting her in a future chat. So if you'd like to be highlighted, we'd love to do that, because we're all about teas, right? Me and my speaker and all the different teas. So thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic, fantastic day, week. And don't forget, if you liked our video, hit the thumb icon below, subscribe to our channel. And if you don't want to miss any of our videos, hit that bell notification. There you go. And remember to always keep smiling. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.